So like I said, my name is Dr. Nizikin Poison. I work for Vanuatu Trade Commission as a lead consultant to the AI project and also the AKL Lumi. Vanuatu Trade Commission has partnered with ECO6, and ECO6 Bank, Central Bank, is the African Diaspora Central Bank. I'm going to give you a background of ECO6. And like I said, my company is a company that runs the AI Africa project, who have the contract to train 25 million people across Africa. And Hajia works with me. So I want to give you a brief about what brought this currency into being. The ECO6 represents the economic community of the 6th region of Africa. Africa has 5 regions, and if you look at the African map, that's how it looks like. So the 5 regions have been grouped based on, for the purpose of regional integration and also purpose of trade facilitation, and in order that Africa can connect very well. So prior to 1963, when the AOU then came out with the idea that we need to ensure that those who were from Africa, who were sold into slavery some 400 years ago, should come back. The 5 regions have been working very hard, one, to be able to come out with their own currency, because the regional groupings, the requirement was that they should have their own parliament, their own central bank, they should have their own courts, and also they should have their own currency. Now, over 30 years now, most of these regions have not been able to achieve this. So when they were calling on to the diaspora, those sold into slavery some 400 years ago, to come back and help them rebuild the continent, the diaspora asked that they wanted also to be represented. They also need their region. So it has been a concerted effort from 1963. The likes of Kwame Nkrumah and Mandela and many of the African giants, Pan-Africanists that we know, have all put their voice forward to ensure that these diaspora come home, because we are looking at about 1.5 or 6 billion diasporans scattered across the globe. And these guys remit a lot of money through various means to Africa. So it was important that they connect well with them. So there has been a homecoming, diaspora homecoming over the years. And Ghana has experienced a number of homecoming. The recent one was the 2019 homecoming, which we made some $3 billion+ as a result of that. So these guys, through this collaboration and engagement with the African Union, somewhere 2003, this issue came up. And finally, on the 1st of August 2019, this economic community of 6th region was inaugurated. It was ratified. They signed a treaty, ratified the treaty on the 1st of August 2019. It's important to know that it is that same date that the African Continental Free Trade was established. The idea was that AFTA will become an offshoot of ECO6, so that they can use that as a vehicle to interact with the continent of Africa and the diaspora. So the ECO6, as you see, is a virtual region. Now, they decided to reside with the Maroons. The Maroons of Jamaica, in history tells us that they were the first to defeat the British in war. And it is believed, and as a matter of fact, not a belief, that one Queen Nani that hails from Ashanti region in Ghana led them to defeat the British because she had some spiritual powers. The British, on the other hand, believed that it was through these guerrilla tactics because they had a lot of plantation that helped, assisted them. So they signed a treaty with the British never to colonize, them anymore. And these guys had their currency, which is the AKL Lumi. This is it. So that was their currency. This currency was then re-engineered. A lot of financial engineering went into this. And then this currency was adapted, turned into a classic currency. And that became the official currency of ECOSIS. And this started somewhere 2014. So just to give you a background, so if you look at this currency very well, you realize that there are a lot of features in there that traces to our ancestry as those of us who trace our ancestry to Africa. You see Bank of Akumpon. Akumpon, actually, when we visited the President Akufo-Addo, our president, he told us that, hey, these guys, they have been, he has been to the Maroons, but they are just Ghanaians. And they name their babies after the days of the week. So you have Kujo, Pami, those names there. But Akumpon is actually a champion. So that is just about the ECOSIS. So I just want to put this thing in perspective so we can all follow well. I just want us to watch this short video brief about ECOSIS, so we are able to situate this presentation that we can benefit from.
Africa is a continent rich in precious metals, minerals, and agricultural resources, which have catalyzed the growth of industries and nations. Yet, despite this wealth, the benefits have not been uniformly enjoyed across its nations. This conundrum was articulated by Manance Bart Williams from Sierra Leone, who, after studying finance and economics at top global institutions, posed a compelling question.
One thing that keeps me puzzled, despite having studied finance and economics at the world's best universities, the following question remains unanswered. Why is it that 5,000 units of our currency is worth 1 unit of your currency, where we are the ones with the actual gold reserves?
With its vast mineral wealth and abundant sunlight, Africa has the potential to transform into an economic powerhouse. This potential is encapsulated in the creation of a unifying, global non-fiat currency with genuine intrinsic value, the African Kingdom's Lumi, AKL Lumi. This digital currency is underpinned by an established unit value equating to 100 kilowatt-hours of solar energy, with a market value equivalent to 0.2592 grams of gold, or $15.96, fixed for the next 4 decades. The AKL Lumi embodies essential monetary features. It is a store of value, a unit of account, and a medium of exchange. It is interesting to note that the most valuable currencies in the world are not the US dollar or the euro, but the Kuwaiti dinar, the Bahraini dinar, and the Omani riyal. This is because these semi-fiat currencies are underpinned by a correlation between their monetary policies and their hydrocarbon-based economies. The AKL Lumi, being underpinned by gold and/or renewable solar energy, thus abandons the fiat currency system altogether and establishes its value as a premium currency on the global market, whilst restoring real value to African monetary policy. The Economic Community of States, Nations, Territories, and Realms of the African Diaspora 6th Region, or ECO6, established on August 1, 2019 and ratified by its member states, became the second largest African institution after the African Union. The creation of ECO6 has enabled the African diaspora to engage actively in the continent's economic transformation and integration into the global economy. The introduction of the AKL Lumi as a single global African currency will stimulate unprecedented economic growth and the elimination of debt. As of April 2022, the AKL Lumi was being used in some 174 countries, and by the end of 2025, it is expected that the adoption and use of the digital currency will become global. To further enhance Africa's economic landscape, ECO6 has introduced the Economic Stimulus Fund under the Economic Stimulus Act Rs.1619219. This fund includes initiatives like diaspora direct investments and strategic partnerships with international businesses, aimed at revitalizing the continent's economies. Notably, the fund provides interest-free and collateral-free loans to large corporations, SMEs, and startups, alongside grants to traditional authorities, NGOs, and academic institutions. These efforts are designed to foster prosperity and stimulate economic activity across Africa. In addition to these financial initiatives, the Economic Stimulus Fund has launched a transformative educational program. Starting in April 2024, an initial $2 billion equivalent in AKL Lumi has been allocated to train 5 million African youth, businesses, government institutions, and academic entities in artificial intelligence. This strategic move is intended to position Africans to lead in the fourth industrial revolution, empowering them with the skills and knowledge necessary to excel in this rapidly evolving technological landscape. The Africa Diaspora Central Bank, ADCB, is the issuer of the AKL Lumi and serves as the central bank for ECO6, overseeing the currency's distribution and stability. Businesses and organizations across various sectors, including airlines, IT products, educational institutions, and real estate, are now embracing the AKL Lumi for payments of goods and services. The currency is accessible via the HennyPay platform, licensed by the ADCB. The AKL Lumi not only unites Africans across the continent and throughout the diaspora but also restores the financial autonomy and respect long denied to them. This economic revolution is set to enhance business, international trade, employment, education, health services, technology, communications, and transportation. Thus, the vision of a prosperous Africa, built by Africans for Africans, is becoming a reality. The African Kingdom's Lumi. Bringing unity, self-determination, financial freedom, growth, prosperity, and the elimination of debt to all people of Africa. Join the economic revolution to change the face of Africa. Have a new financial instrument for trade and communication. Visit hennypay.co, create an account, and start trading with the AKL Lumi.
We are pleased to let it be known that all of the financial intermediaries now operating with Lumi are ready for a new phase of trade, exchange, and engagement with African currencies, with foreign fiat monetary instruments, and with all dynamics of trade pertaining to the global African family. Our currency is Lumi. It is our regional currency, it is our global African currency, and it is the monetary instrument that speaks to the challenges and the needs of the African family in this 21st century. And so not only do we invite you to engage in the exchange and utilization of our currency, but we invite you to the participation in a new era of economic development, job creation, and stability for the global African family. I say that as President of African Diaspora Central Bank, and I welcome and challenge all of you to this new era of prosperity and growth. Thank you.
All right, so the man who just spoke is the chairman of ECO6 and the president of the African Diaspora Central Bank. So that video will be shared with you. It gives a brief about everything about the Lumi. Now, the economic community of the sixth region of Africa, as I write in the video, the narrator rightly said, was established in 1st August 2019. And with your permission, let me just read what we have here. The successful integration of the African diaspora is a cornerstone to the aspiration of Africa in the 21st century. Both the OAU and the AU have called for diaspora reintegration with the continental economic framework. To these ends, the treaty establishing the economic community of the states, nations, and territories and realms of the African diaspora 6 week was ratified by its inaugurating members of the 1st of August 2019, with full membership ratification being open to diverse states. So these are the states you see within the the ECO6, and as you heard in the video, is the second largest region apart from economic reintegration apart from the AU. And you can see here we have the Quilombos of Brazil, we have the Federative Republic of Brazil, Commonwealth of Dominica, Republic of Guyana, all that. These are all part of the region. And the 54 African countries are also part of the ECOSIS. And the chairman is the one who just spoke, that is Samako. You can read about him. And this is the Eswatini, King. And then this is Chief Thomas, who is a special assistant to the president of African Diaspora Central Bank and the chairman of ECOSIS. So Vanuatu came in because Vanuatu, the trade commissioner to Ghana, signed an agreement with ECOSIS to be the trading partner when it comes to the AKL Lumi. So all deals are broken by Vanuatu Trade Commission. They lead in the brokerage of deals. When I say that if a country wants to access the funds, it is through Vanuatu Trade Commission that this is done. The Vanuatu is somewhere in Australia, east of Australia, South Pacific, and a very relatively small country with about 300,000 population, and they have 83 islands. The place is an island, so you either go by sea or by air. They don't share border with any country. Interestingly, they won the 4 times the peaceful place on earth. They live a moderate life. They are blacks, and there's no pressure in that country. They live nature. You go, you see natural things. They have a product called Kava. Kava is it's now international. It relaxes you. A very good product. And in Vanuatu, you can just go to the sea and then fetch your fish. They don't sell. And most of the tuna flakes and whatever they do, they import some of these fish from Vanuatu and many other things they do. So their first trade commissioner is Ambassador Professor Hikeku Aye, who signed the agreement with the ECOSIS to be its trading partner. We talked about the AKL Lumi. So this is the first classic currency in the world now. You can check. Classic because it is the first currency that has 2 assets back in it. It has the solar energy and then also gold. So 1 Lumi is equivalent to 100 kilowatt hour of solar energy. And the word Lumi means sun. Africa has 365 days of sun. And 100 kilowatts of solar energy has a parity value of 4 grains of gold, which is equivalent to 0.2592 grams. Today, you have that value as 22.85 as its secondary value. As of today, I believe that when you go to this site, as of now, the price might have gone up or a little bit down because it is per minute. It's per minute. But the African Diaspora Central Bank maintains a primary rate of 15.96 as equated to 1 Lumi for the next 4 decades. So in the next 40 years, you can retain the value of the Lumi. Of course, in the secondary price, they don't have control on it. So traders between 15.96 and then what Lumi is for today, which is this value, those who trade in Lumi could make their own gains, within this period. It is so because if you look at the UAE dirham or the Kuwaiti dinar, you would realize that their currency is semi-fiat. It's partly backed with their fuel or oil, and that has made their currency very stable. So you realize that if you have been to Dubai for the past 15 years, I mean, $1 has always been equivalent to 3.65 dirham. I mean, it has never gone too much higher. It's just in the black market. Maybe when you go to Barnier Square, that place, you would have a little bit of maybe some 2 cents or something in addition, but it has been very stable. So this currency actually gives businesses stability. The reason why we wanted to engage you, for you to know what this stands for. So the other question is, who is using this currency? A number of businesses are using Lumi now. Now, with these regions, let me take you back. With this, 5 regions. Now, the idea of, regrouping these countries on a regional basis, one of the main reasons was to generate their own currency so that at the regional level, they can exchange. I hear the East are coming out with their currency, and ECOWAS, the ECO currency is also coming up. So what the diaspora is saying that we are ready. Now the challenge has been that because these regions do not have currencies of their own, the diaspora would have to now engage individual central banks in this country to introduce this currency to them to be able to integrate it into their financial framework. So that is what is happening now. And for that reason, there is something going on in Nigeria, for instance, where some whooping $9 million has been sunk into the tourism sector through what we call the IPADA Carnival. The IPADA Carnival is initiative is a platform that has been created by Dr. Otumba, who is the owner of one of the resort, we call it Lakan Punch in Nigeria, and he muted this idea. So the first edition is coming on. It's starting from the 8th of November next month. But what they have done is that through this project, they have received investment of $9 billion equivalent in Lumi into the creation of 6 cruise ships, 2 be created in the Caribbean and then 4 in Nigeria. That alone is giving Nigeria, is sparking some sort of businesses within the African continent. And they would need about 1.5 million steel for this project. They are taking the best engineers, and those who will be playing roles in the supply chain. Because of this project, I had an interview with, just this Friday with, these big guys. This is the ecosystem chairman, and this is the main man behind the IPADA project. And the Nigeria president is the patron for that project. And Nigeria is preparing to integrate the AKL Lumi into should I say, they are working with the banks now to integrate the AKL Lumi into their system, because they have already received the first tranche of the money through the HoneyPay platform, and they are working out to do that. So you can see, if you check online, there's been, in the Nigerian media, there's been a whole lot of excitement, and these are some of the publications you have in there. Now, let me also draw your attention. Putin signs law to advance cryptocurrency use in Russia, international trade. But the exciting thing is that, probably the reason why Nigeria is taking their time, the exciting thing is that, I just want to, if you look at, just watch this news. Nigeria and 12 other countries just joined the BRICS.
Coming up on Network Africa. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu reshuffles his cabinet, naming 7 new ministers, sacking 5 and reassigning 10 others. Nigeria, Algeria, Uganda and 10 others officially joined the BRICS bloc as partner countries. Plus,
so Nigeria joins BRICS and Putin signs law to advance cryptocurrency. Nigeria is piloting cryptocurrency. In fact, they have done that. So there will, in the coming days or weeks, there will be the official announcement. Even though in most of the media they've spoken about it, there has been a press release, a press briefing that the Minister of Tourism has indicated Nigeria's commitment is to utilize this AKL Lumi to kind of restructure the economy. So this is what is happening. So the question is, what does this mean? And for other countries, like there's been a lot of engagement with other countries who are preparing to build their most countries don't have digital currency, even though where I am in Ghana, they just started piloting the e-city. All right. So if you don't have a digital platform, then that is going to be a huge challenge for it. And that is what has slowed down the adoption rate. It isn't because countries are not recognizing the AKL Lumi. But the fact of the matter is that some countries that do not have digital platform or digital currency are doing so. Nigeria has done away with their old currency, Naira. And they've just given some announcement that they will stop using the old Naira very soon. Of course, they've joined BRICS. BRICS is integrating cryptocurrency into their system. Nigeria is already integrating AKL Lumi. So it is good news, for all of us. So some of these news you see around, a lot more, I can't count if you go online, they are all, there. So basically, so the other question is that what does this mean for suppliers? So for you, now in any currency implementation, there are two groups of people, not three, let me put it that way. I think for those of us who were around when Bitcoin was, these cryptocurrencies were being introduced. And cryptocurrency, for purposes of this presentation, just to let us, we all know that it is not regulated, it's an unregulated space. But even that, these are the kind of progress that they've made, to the extent that most countries, as a researcher where I said most countries and their central banks are now integrating cryptocurrency into their ecosystem. But you are dealing with a classic currency that is regulated by a central bank and as well backed by commodity. The other currencies, including my own currency in my country, like the cedi, is not backed with any commodity. Recently, Ghana has come out with the ECD, the gold coin, where the idea was that people will invest in that. Now, what that meant is that if you buy a gold coin, the Central Bank of Ghana can guarantee that if you really need to swap that money with gold, they can guarantee that you can get your gold. But because gold is a commodity that is very, it's a commodity that has value, that has intrinsic value, it is easier, to use that to kind of restructure the economy. And that's what Ghana is doing now. But these folks, the ECOSYS, have done a very good work. And it has given the Lumi that kind of stability. And most countries who are now integrated, there's a whole lot of them, are showing signs of goodwill towards this currency, as this is going to create stability in their system, reduce inflation, and also give suppliers of product that confidence that, hey, I'm not going to buy, export something to Ghana and later I get my currency in a form that, I mean, the price would have reduced. And those customers who are here who also take your product and resell have issues because of the dollar, the CD, I mean, depreciation, which is very bad. You buy something, you sell, and then you realize that now you want to recapitalize, it has become a problem. So for you suppliers, you would have to decide within these three groups of people, those who have the optimists and those who are risk averse and those who also do not understand what is happening and the wait and see people, you decide where you want to fall in. I have had engagement with a number of suppliers and then financial engineers, and the responses that we have, people are now, with even this Nigeria announcement, people are rushing to buy the Lumi and then to keep it, as against even keeping the dollar. So that is what is happening now. But aside the issue of you being suppliers, there is also some aspect of this program that, I mean, give funds to some groups of people. And I just want you to, I want to play that this last part, that is the video, then I'll open up for questions. So just enjoy this with you.
10 FAQs on the Economic Stimulus Fund of ECO6. 1. What is the Economic Stimulus Fund? The Economic Stimulus Fund, created under the ECO6 Economic Stimulus Act Rs.16192019, provides grants, interest-free loans, and diaspora direct investment, EDI, to boost Africa's economic independence. It focuses on sectors like renewable energy, education, infrastructure, health, sustainable agriculture, ocean trade, air transport, and emerging technologies, including AI, with the mission we have come to fix our father's home. 2. What is the purpose of the Economic Stimulus Fund? The fund aims to reduce Africa's reliance on foreign aid and promote sustainable development by investing in critical sectors such as renewable energy, education, health, sustainable agriculture, ocean trade, air transport, and technology, creating a self-sustaining economy that benefits future generations. 3. What are the categories of the Economic Stimulus Fund? A. Diaspora Direct Investment, EDI, supports debt repayment and investments in renewable energy, education, health, sustainable agriculture, ocean trade, air transport, and technology. B. Strategic international organizations, global businesses investing in Africa's key sectors, including technology, renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, ocean trade, and air transport. C. Startups, SMEs, and large corporations must operate in key sectors, create jobs, source 80% of raw materials from Africa, and integrate AKL Lumi into their operations. D. Grants for educational institutions, NGOs, and cultural heritage, for projects that lead to tangible outcomes, such as science labs, emerging technology labs, or cultural festivals. E. Grants for traditional authorities, for community development projects like road building, sustainable agricultural initiatives, and infrastructure improvements. 4. What are the requirements to access the fund? Eligibility depends on the category, but generally requires projects in renewable energy, education, infrastructure, sustainable agriculture, health, ocean trade, air transport, or technology, along with demonstrated societal or economic impact, especially job creation and local sourcing. 5. How does the fund support diaspora direct investment, EDI? The DDI channel allows diaspora contributions to fund projects like debt repayment, sustainable agriculture, renewable energy, and infrastructure, empowering local economies and promoting sustainable development across Africa. 6. What role do strategic international organizations play? These are global companies investing in Africa's development, particularly in renewable energy, infrastructure, sustainable agriculture, ocean trade, air transport, and technology. They contribute expertise and resources to align with Africa's growth goals. 7. How are traditional authorities supported? Traditional authorities receive grants to improve their communities through projects like road construction, sustainable agricultural programs, and community centers, enhancing quality of life at the grassroots level. 8. What support is available for educational institutions, NGOs, and cultural heritage programs? Grants are offered for research-based projects that lead to tangible benefits, such as infrastructure development, sustainable agriculture solutions, or services that improve societal welfare. Cultural grants support initiatives that preserve and promote African traditions. 9. How does the fund assist startups, SMEs, and large corporations? Interest-free loans are provided to businesses engaged in sectors like technology, renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, ocean trade, and air transport. These businesses must create jobs, source 80% of materials from Africa, and adopt AKL Lumi in their operations. 10. What's the impact of the fund on businesses? By providing financial support to businesses, particularly those focused on job creation, local sourcing, and innovation in sustainable agriculture, ocean trade, and air transport, the fund ensures that African businesses grow sustainably while contributing to economic independence and technological advancement across the continent.
All right, so thank you for your time and have a good morning. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Thank you very much, Doctor, and as well, it's quite interesting, and I'm trying to see how the program will be able to, let's say we have a project in Nigeria, for example, or Ghana, for housing development. How would that the Lumi can be a financial instrument that for this project, for example. Our company is based in Canada here. We are specialized in housing, construction development, basically land development. How can we have to use the currency if I'm correct, and you are providing some also financial support for the project. How would that works between our institution and AKL Lumi?
Okay, that's a very good question. So I normally like answering questions with some sort of demonstration. So there's a company in Nigeria. So what you are saying falls under strategic international partnership. So if you go to my Joy Online, you will see this publication, right? Let me share it on the end. What does this guy do? So this is a German company who has investment in, please, I've shared it in the chat. They have investment in Namibia and then Zambia, right? So these are the big guys. You know, this is a chairman of. So they met in Germany. In fact, His Excellency Ambassador visited Luxembourg to meet some business gurus who also wanted some $1.5 billion in exchange in Lumi. So whilst the Stratima approached them, and they have a lot of discussion, you can have time and then read this. But the interesting thing is these are whites, they are not Ghanaians, they are not Africans. But you see, a window has been provided so that those, the thing is about Africa's future. So anything that is able to help the continent to develop, regardless of where it's coming from, the AKL Lumi will support that. So what they did, and I would like us to read. So this is Ambassador Professor Hugh, and then this is Your Royal Majesty. And then this is the Stratima boss. And I think this guy is one guy in charge of operations or something. I just want you to see the funds that were, sunk into their operations. I think they received some sum of money. So this is it. It said under the term of the agreement, EcoSys Treasury, within the ADC, they would issue funds denominated in African Kingdom's Lumi, equivalent to 29, I think this is $29 billion, or 27 billion euros, right? These funds will support the development of various projects with the flexibility to convert some portions into other currencies, including the euro and the US dollar, right? And it was a huge project they were having in Zambia. And as a result of this, Zambia has to, and Namibia would have to, integrate with the Lumi. So we've spoken, we had a section with the Zambia Central Bank, and they've given clearance for us to integrate the Lumi into their system, and Namibia as well. So the question you asked falls within this international strategic partnership where you can access loan and the terms will be discussed. But remember, these loans come without interest and then without collateral.
This is Michael. The same idea under the educational program.
Yes.
We engage with some education school system also in Nigeria that we support. In our elementary school, we have over 2,000 students. In the high school, we also have over 2,000 students as well. We sponsor children to go to university, from university to Europe and beyond, and also within Nigeria as well. Now we are engaged in a building a university. We already went through the university accredited program. We are ready to launch this university. And will this program be available for financial support to build the university and for the program and for the students and everything? Is that something that this will fall under?
Education is part of the stimulus. Maybe for purpose of clarity, if you wouldn't mind, I can play the stimulus as part of it. So there are two ways to look at it. If you are coming in as an international strategic partner, then whatever you are sourcing for, you will be paid. You pay it over some period of time. But if you sponsor African kids for education and do not pay anything, then you can come under grant, all right, and source this grant under probably your NGO initiative, okay, because these grants will not be paid back. But the beneficiary is the African child. The beneficiary is the African community. And these same grants could be used to build universities and all that. What you are doing is that you are bringing some sort of technology or whatever to get these things done. And remember, once they are building university, you'll be creating jobs which aligns with the Stimulus Act. You understand? People will have jobs to do. And then because you are bringing education, it's going to improve the lives of people. Okay, so you can go either under grant, and whether you are doing it for profit making, then you can hide under the strategic partnership initiative.
Thank you. Madam Mariam, you have a question?
Yes, I'd like to ask this simple question, because right now, as you know, the construction work is between Baden Moyet Nigeria Limited and the Lagos State government, which is a partnership which you know about. Now, because we have other projects under the same partnership for over 2,000 housing units, affordable housing units. If there is no interest coming with this money, then what's your own interest? If there's no, what's the benefit?
That's a very good question. No, that's a very good question. And let me answer again with the slide. That's a very good question. Now, remember when we started the presentation, I told you that the African community, that's the African Union, has been on the diaspora to help rebuild, the continent of Africa, right? So look at this presentation. At the top, it says, we have come to fix our father's home. We have come, the diaspora don't need anything from us. So this stimulus fund, one, the DDI, we've not spoken about that, is the direct, diaspora direct investment. It's the same thing that is being given to Nigeria for the IPADA project, right? Because it's going to help in reshaping the continent in terms of what we are doing as a continent. And remember, these diaspora do not believe that the loans they give with interest is a good strategy in building economy. Because when you give loans and you pile up interest that the people are not able to pay, you tend to, just as it were, worsen their situation. And that's where that's where we find ourselves. Now, the IMF loan and the World Bank loans that we take, we are unable to pay, and we remain in abject poverty. But they believe in the Arab system, where they give loans without interest. Loans come without interest. In Dubai, when they give loans to their citizens, they don't take interest. What do they need the interest for? That's a central bank. You understand? So this is where it stems from. And this thing that we have come to fix our father's home is the clarion call to Africans. So that is why ECOSYS is in existence. And this is what the AU asked them to come and do in Africa. Okay.
I think if you have $1 trillion and for Africa, I speak from Liberia to Congo to Mali to Chad to Nigeria to Ghana to Togo and so forth. We all need infrastructure, we all need funding, we need good roads, from ocean to the air to the, I mean, we need agricultural system. I speak for Nigeria as a country with over 200 million, the most populous country in Africa. The food system, the agricultural, what they grow is not enough, and they need assistance. We need help, but the system uh, has to be in place that this money that is going out, interest loan, sounds great to fix our fatherland for sure, but the funds, there has to be a gatekeeper from how the system is set up, and at the same time you're promoting your currency, this currency, a Lumi, or our new currency until when Nigeria adopted. I'm a Nigerian citizen, I'm also Canadian. When Nigeria's our first home, I believe that it's a great program from what I'm hearing, but I would like to see how we can implement, how we can get this couple of this project going. We do have this amazing project for Nigeria, for example. The new Liberia government, prime minister or presidents need assistance in waste management for the country and other stuff. So I think that I would like to learn more about this program, how we can implement it, and how we can make it work. If it's possible, yeah. There's a lot of opportunity, not only from our side, from many companies. I never heard about it before. It's my first time to hear about it. And I think the whole Africa should be promoting this and out there.
So, Michael, I fully agree with you. I also, until I came to consult for this group, I just looked at the financial engineering, and also at the fact that all the things you enumerated are projects that would have to be executed. And the reason why you, the suppliers, would have to play the lead role, whoever asks you to join this call, I mean, because like I'm telling you, there are a lot of information out there, but people are not reading. And Africans, we don't like to read. So they see these things. You see Stratima, a German company, how were they able to track that, I mean, Prof was going to Luxembourg, and that we were able to, through other people, track him and then visit him in his hotel. And out of that meeting, they flew the chairman of ECOSYS, who is resident in Germany. He has worked at the Central Bank of Germany for more than 15 years. He then joined them. And His Royal Majesty doesn't like wasting time. He will tell you that all the things they have to do in terms of the financial engineering, building the framework, financial framework, so that any country that wants to adapt to, they are done with their work. I'll send the video for the interview. You hear Dr. Otumba, who is highly spirited. He's the one pushing this agenda in Nigeria seriously, because he wants this IPADA concept to be replicated on most of the African countries. He told us the number of lands they bought. I mean, Namibia, Rwanda is giving some acreage of land to ECOSYS, for this same IPADA project. Senegal is coming on board, Zambia is coming on board, Uganda, Kenya, but for these issues that Ruto had with his citizens, Kenya would have been the first to even adapt them, because Professor Mulumba I mean, was seriously championing this until this route happened. So there are a lot of things that are happening behind the scene. But you as suppliers, and it is the private sector that is going to move. It's not the government machinery. Most times when it comes to currency implementation, it's the private sector. Because they come for the project, these big projects, and they are the early adapters. Some of them even buy the Lumi in bigger quantity and then they store them because they know what is going to happen. You understand? So with all this news that is happening and all that, you would have to strategically position yourself. First of all, if you ask me what are you supposed to do, put up your projects in place and invite us maybe online for presentation, or if you want to pay a visit. This is what Stratima did. They got the guys in Germany, made sure that they deferred their travel 1 week, met with all their financial guys, whatever. By the time they left, they had signed the contract. And already some part of the money has been remitted to them. And this is not a Ghanaian company. You understand? This is not an African company, but they have interest in Africa. Because we do admit that when it comes to technology, Africa may not have it, right? So, but if the interest is in Africa, why not? And that's why the stimulus package has given that option for strategic partnership. And they take, look at what these guys sourced for, $29 billion equivalent. You understand? That is huge. And already we've done the stimulus package. Those are documents I cannot share with you, but the stimulus budget for the entire of Africa, each country based on resources, population, and then the kind of business they do and whatever. I mean, each country has an allocation. So everything is budgeted as I speak to you, right? But you guys will have to take advantage of the situation. And it's good that, and one of the prerequisites is for you to integrate Lumi into your system. Okay? So for Bitcoin, those who bought it and they were able to wait for a while, they had a gains. They became the millionaires now. So there's an opportunity for you guys. And I think that I keep saying that those who are able to see and monitor what is happening, read, they can take advantage of the situation. And of course, they will also make gains within this. Early next year, there's going to be more explosion. People call me now because of this announcement, they want to buy Lumi. You understand? So, because these guys are cryptocurrency dealers who understand the dynamics and all that, so they want to store some of the Lumi there, and then just wait and see what will happen. So I thank you for your comments. Any other comments?
Yeah, we thank you, and definitely there's a couple of information to be had and to know the process of how we can work together, the needful, what is the next step, if we decided to go with what is required from us, apart from adopting this currency, buy and sell, like construction material. We have to mortar, tiles, electrical, mechanical, and so forth. There's a lot to learn this from you guys and how you guys operate and everything. Yeah.
Okay, so what
Go ahead.
I'll tell you to do is that, first of all, I mean, create your account. All right, you can create a personal account. As you've seen on there, you can go through this process, create the account, and then when you are done, you will, based on the country that you select, you'll be able to have your wallet. This is the AKL wallet ID. All right, and then this is your US dollar ID, and then your resident country's wallet. If if you're a business, you can add your business to it. So you can add business registration as you watch here. You can add business registration and then add your business to it as well. Okay. You can add multiple business, 2 or 3 or even 10 businesses. If you are operating in Africa, they can have their own wallet, and if you click on it, you're able to see their wallet ID and all that, and then work with it. So you can do that. You see the wallet is here. When I click on this, I can also have the wallet here and all that. So you can do this first, and then probably maybe get some of the Lumi if you want. You can, there's a trading platform here where you can do, this is business to business trading, where you can seamlessly buy Lumi from any of these guys they are scattered across. You can buy, and then the P2P is for just the individual. Sometimes these trading are also done in such a manner that, those who know themselves, they call, they don't put it up here, but they do their transfer below. Reason is that on this platform, the ADCB compliance works. You are trading at 15.96 minimum. And then today's rate, which is around today's rate, which is around 22.85. If you go here, let's go to I just want you to see this. So if I want to check this quick conversion from Lumi to US dollar, it's using, there's an engine that checks. So if I want to see 1 Lumi to US dollar, the system, I'm sorry about it. My internet just tripped off. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, they've done the closing remarks, and everybody have thanked another, and they've left. At least only 2 people left on the call now.
That's fine.
So they said we should share the recording for them. They are highly interested, so they know how to take it up.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, let me close the session.